Welcome to my channel. This is an indication of some of the things that I cover on a regular basis in my videos. If you haven't already subscribed, please feel free to do so, and don't forget to click the little bell so that you'll get notified of future videos. Please feel free to share my videos on your social media, and I hope you enjoy the video which follows. Oh, hello everybody. I'm about to make cashew brittle. The same thing as peanut brittle, only I'm going to use cashew nuts instead of peanuts. I'll only do one video. I'm also going to make one with mixed nuts, hazelnuts and pecans and walnuts and what else is in it? I guess there's some cashews in that mixture as well, and almonds. But this one I'm going to do is the one with cashews. And as I said before, it's the same as the peanut brittle recipe for the base until you add the nuts. This, I think, is the 10th video in a series that I call Christmas Gifts from the Kitchen. It's one of these playlists that are mine. There are 9 others. I'm quite sure this is the 10th one. It's been made over the last 2 or 3 years. I think this is the second one that I've made this year. At the end of this video, when those end screens pop up, those little things that look like little television screens with the different videos that you could watch, I'll put a link to that entire group, the 10 videos, if that interests you. The ingredients for the cashew brittle are 2 cups of just plain white granulated sugar, a cup of corn syrup, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, a 1/2 cup of water, a cup of butter cut into cubes, 2 1/4 cups of cashews, and a teaspoon of baking soda. So let's move over to the stove and get this started. I've lined a baking sheet with parchment paper. You could use tin foil, or one of those silicone baking pads or whatever, but something so that the brittle won't stick to your baking sheet anyway. And now, over medium heat, put the sugar and the salt, the water, and last but not least, the corn syrup. Stirring this constantly over medium heat until it comes to a boil. So I'll bring you back and show you that when it starts to come to a boil. The recipe that I'll put the link to down below said this should take 6 or 7 minutes, I guess. Well, that didn't take too long, and it has come to a boil. Now you add the butter, and stir occasionally until it comes to 280 degrees Fahrenheit on the candy thermometer. Of course, the butter has taken it off the boil, and it won't come back into the boil until the butter is all completely melted. Well, I'll bring you back when it reaches 280 degrees Fahrenheit. Just reached 280 degrees, and this business about stirring it occasionally, I ignore that. I stirred it constantly. Now you add the cashews, or the peanuts, or whatever you're planning to add, and you continue to stir until it reaches 305 degrees. Bring you back when it reaches 305 degrees. It didn't take it very long to reach the 305 degrees. Hard to stir it just after you add the nuts because that cools it down quite a bit, but once it gets heated back up again. I've removed the thermometer, I've shut the heat off, and now you add the baking soda. And stir that in. which is making it foam up nicely. Only thing left to do now is to pour it into your parchment paper or tinfoil lined baking tray. And once again, I want to remind you, this stuff is molten hot. You don't want to splash it on yourself. I guess that's most of it. What's left in the pot will be for the cook. With a spatula of some sort, try to spread it as evenly as possible, because it wants to cool down quite quickly now. It smells delicious. I think the extra stirring on the parts of the recipe where it says to stir occasionally, I wouldn't trust that. Even in a heavy bottom pan, which I was using, it could quite easily catch and you'd end up with burnt particles in your brittle. Well, for that one, the only thing left to do now is to wait a few hours till it's cool enough and break it up into brittle. I think it'll make an excellent Christmas gift. I'm going to make a batch of the mixed nut. I won't take you through the whole process, but I will show you the finished product. Well, it's certainly set up very hard. It's been in the refrigerator for a few hours. And it's going to be easy to break. I can't even get rid of the tray when it started to break. So I guess brittle is the right name for it. Yeah, okay. I had this thing out of citrus juicer, thought I might need to tap it with that, but evidently not. And just keep dropping it. Well, I'll try a small piece and see what I think of it. Yeah, I really like that. Never had it with cashews in it before, but that's delicious. Well, I'm going to make the mixed nut one, and I'll show you the final product, at least when I pour it in the pan to dry, to harden. But I won't bother taking you through the entire process. It's the same thing, I'm just changing to a mixture of nuts from using the cashews. Well, I followed the exact same process, and everything went just identically to the way it went with the cashew one, so you didn't miss anything in that area anyway. Now I'm going to try to spread it out here. I would like to emphasize once again, though, this stuff is hot. You wouldn't want to get it on you, or even on your clothing. Very hot, very sticky. It would give you, I think, a severe burn. Also, you probably would not want to have little children around when you're trying to do this. How's that for cautions enough? But it is very easy to make. And of course, if you want, you could use peanuts. I just thought I would up it a little bit and use other varieties of nuts. You could use any kind of nut that you want to use. I mentioned in my last video in this series, when I made the toffee that has the chocolate and almond topping, that it would make a nice, Christmas gift for somebody at the office, or hostess gift when you're going to a Christmas party or a dinner or something. And I thought those tins that you can buy at the dollar stores. Well, I was in the dollar store yesterday, and these, you see that or not, smaller than a shoebox, much smaller than a shoebox. I really like them. They're less expensive than the tin. Put whatever you're going to put in that for your candies or whatever, and tie it up with a ribbon. And I also found, for $1, a package of these Ziploc bags, which I guess I finally got into view there for you. And that's just some of that chocolate and almond covered toffee. The choice is yours as to what you get, I guess, but I think this is a nice little alternative to the tin, and the person can reuse it for something themselves too. So, another idea for the gifts anyway. Well, by now the end screens that I was talking about should have popped up with the link for the group of Christmas gifts from the kitchen. Yeah, there are 9 videos, and this one will also be in the group by the time it pops up there. So if that interests you, you can have a look at some of the other recipes. I hope you'll give this a try. As I said, this is extremely easy. You follow the instructions step by step. The link will be down below. And thank you very much for watching.